Hello, this is Dan Elder. This is blog post reflection number 1 for my interactive marketing class for Northeastern University. The technology that I'm using works well, I think, for this particular topic. I've chose to use Periscope as the platform to record the video. And by sharing this through my social network, Periscope is related. It's interconnected to Twitter. By notifying my followers through this through a tweet, they could easily follow along in this conversation. They could share it. They could actually interact with me by tapping the screen, which would then put hearts over, it was superimposed over my video feed, so I could see that they were interacting and agreeing with my content. Once I complete my wrap-up of the blog post by Anna Bagger, I'm going to upload this to YouTube, where again I can bring it to my social connections. They can comment. They can actually send it out to their social networks through Facebook or Twitter, or just comment right in YouTube application itself. In reviewing the article, mobile marketing isn't about screens or devices, it's about behavior. The first thing out of the gates is I do agree with the author's position that it's not so much about the device that we are as content creators, as designers and developers. It's not so much the screen, it's about the fact that consumers are now taking their content not just back at home or at work or tied to a computer, but they're taking it with them on the go. And what she emphasizes that users expect this fluidity, she calls it, this responsiveness in our designs, that they have a similar experience regardless of the device that they use. I'm a BlackBerry guy. I'm kind of old school, though I have my iPad here. One of my favorite handheld mobile devices is my BlackBerry. I like the tactile response of a keypad, so that's something that's for me to transition. But I can easily make it work on my iPad as well. And because of that, I recognize the fact that regardless if I'm consuming from a website to my portable device to my tablet, as a consumer, I want that to be a seamless transition through the various devices. And I want to tie back to a couple of thought experts that I kind of refer to. And the first one, I was exposed to this probably 10 years ago, and it was by a usability expert by the name of Steve Krug. And Steve wrote the book, Don't Make Me Think. And it was the first time as a web designer that I had a chance to look at the web or the pages that I was creating from the view of the consumer. I just assumed everybody used the web like I did, and it was only through Steve's his book and his study and his experience and his research that showed that wasn't necessarily true. And it was by putting myself through him in my users' position, how they saw, that allowed me to really understand a little better about what Anna's talking about how we as the content creators have got to design for how people consume. Though the first book I read was the first edition, Krug has come out later with a more up-to-date and modern version. I don't have a copy of it with me because it's just it was such an influential book on my behalf that I shared it with a friend, and they haven't returned it back. A second group of folks that I kind of want to talk about, because it's a pair who wrote this, and this is Charlene Lee and Josh Bernhoff. They wrote the book Groundswell, and I actually got exposed to this here at NEU with another program, but having been involved in grassroots projects and efforts, when I was exposed to their thoughts and theories in the book Groundswell, they basically talk about how an idea, a theory, the use of technology applications or anything moves through this life cycle that kind of starts with an idea and it begins to gather momentum, and pretty soon it becomes, at least when it comes to technology as we know it, it's just become a commonplace. And what they espouse in their book is that it takes a couple of things to get to that point, where that tipping point where we recognize where there's groundswell, like we see in mobile that's happening now. And they said it requires knowledge, experience, and enlightenment. And we, as in the marketing world, or as content creators, as designers and developers, we have to recognize, because of our experience and because of what we know about these type of technologies, is when the light goes off in our brain, that's what they call the groundswell, and they call that they call that actually the jujitsu moment. What they espouse also that ties back to Ms. Bagger's article is that they say that we have got to focus on relationships and not the technology, which is what the article is talking about as well. She's saying, look, it's not the size of the screen that matters. It's about how we relate, how the experience is set up for the user. That's really what we need to focus on. The technologies are secondhand. That's they're going to come. So I think that having been at this for a while, there are a number of people who see these iterations of creativity, about design, applications, the platforms that we use. They continue to mature and get better. And as the community that provides the platforms and the content, we also have to mature with. We have to adjust and mature with them. So there you go.